I do not own the rights to the music being played in the background. Let me turn it down a tad bit because I don't want my broadcast to be interrupted. Oh. Well, hello, people. Good evening. I still don't know how to maneuver and use my room correctly, but I'm here. I'm here. Busy day. Well, anyway, my name is Kimble Evans. I'm your trap therapist. Welcome to the Trap Lounge. What's that up there? What that up here is. Okay, there you go. Don't know what that was. Let's give it a few more seconds. Let me get some incense lit in here. I want some ambiance. I'm here, people, just like my incense. All right. Much better. It smells like something that I want to reminisce on. So, good evening, everybody. Would your past hinder your treatment? Would your past hinder your recovery and treatment? I've been getting a lot of questions on this. When people go to therapy, when they get scheduled for therapy, they don't want to talk about their past. They're not there for their past. Some people don't want to dig in their past or discuss it because it's really difficult to do. Some people, got bad experiences in their past, but you have to start from somewhere when you're in therapy. So you got to go in your past a little bit to understand what's going on in your present. That's the first thing you're going to get when you're even in an intake appointment. You'll talk about the present, what brought you there today, but they'll also start asking you about your past, family members, relationships, jobs, friendships, all those things. They'll start asking you about those things. So your therapist can have a window of, where did the issues of coping with whatever you're having. When you go to a job, they always ask you about your previous employers. When you go to a different doctor or you get a referral, they always ask you your previous medical history. So it's the same thing in therapy. I want just people to know that, like, when they're asking, when your therapist, your case manager, your caseworker asking about your past, they need to know something, so they can have something to build on. Now that's up to you if you want to not give them that information, if you're going to make it hard for them to obtain, but that will stunt your treatment, your recovery and your treatment and your therapy sessions. And that's be it couples therapy, family therapy, individual therapy. It'll stunt your treatment. Your therapist will be pulling at teeth and you'll feel stuck, like you're not getting anything done. So that's why I wanted to talk about that last night. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and do our midweek check-in. Got my little cute things, y'all. My little cute things. So I put up there, where you at? Yeah. I put up there the light blue emoji heart. And so tonight I'm feeling relaxed and friendly. I was feeling that way all day today. I had a really good day. My dogs didn't get that much on my nerves, and I had some company earlier today. So I'm feeling relaxed and friendly. Let's see how everybody else is doing. Hey, Miss Carla. There go my lady. All right, Miss Carla, we're just getting started on these emojis. So if you're doing great or you had a great day, put that red emoji heart up there. Hey, Sheree, put that red emoji heart up there. If you had a great day, red emoji heart. And these are so cute. I'm just loving them. If you're doing okay, you can put the blue emoji heart if you're doing okay. If you're meh, put the yellow emoji heart up there. If you just meh, don't even want to get into it, meh, put the yellow emoji heart up there. Green if your things are tough and you're struggling. Anybody have any green emoji hearts? Things are tough and you're struggling. I will reach out to you. I haven't had anybody in a while inbox me or anything like that, which is a good thing. But remember, last week we talked about what did I title it last week? Mic check, and it was hilarious because after I think 2 days after that, my childhood friend Muff sent me a meme, and it said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And the meme said, I'm not doing okay." And the person was like, "That's great. Where's the follow-up at? Like, what do you mean that's great? What do you mean you're not doing okay? What's wrong? You want to talk?" But that was the meme. So we're used to somebody saying, "Hey, how are you?" "Oh, I'm great. I'm fine." And there's no follow-up. It needs to be follow-up. One of my ministers lost a dear friend of hers that completed suicide, and they thought she was doing fine, but she was in a really dark place, and she actually completed suicide. So that's a thing that we need to check on with. I mean, everybody. If I'm saying I'm relaxing, cool right now, I am relaxing, cool right now. You would know because I'll be on here, talking some stuff. But we need to really dig and check into making sure people are okay and where how they feel. Sure, you got that purple heart up there. I see it. You're having a hard time and wouldn't mind if someone was to reach out to you. Got you, lady. Got you. So she threw up a meh. She's relaxing, friendly. She's okay, and purple heart. I will reach out to you guys. Just reach out to me. No matter the time of the hour. I do check on my I do check on my inboxes all the time. Facebook, YouTube, even Instagram. I check on them. And if you just want to ask a private question that you don't want to have on the comment section, that's fine. I still talk to you and reach out to you, even if you need resources. Say, "Hey, Kimble, I'm looking for resources," or somebody in another city is looking for resources, and you don't know how to do that, navigate that. I will help with those things. The broken heart. You're in a really dark place. Really dark place. If you're in a really dark place, let's talk about it. Let's go through some things, and I can direct you to where you can have resources readily available to you immediately. Pink emoji heart, having harmony and some balance in your life. So if you're chilling and you got everything checked off and your goals and you're meeting your goals on for this week and you're right on spot, put up that pink emoji heart. Orange, if you're feeling optimistic and uplifting. I think I was this way Monday because I was so happy to be back to work. The days are moving so quickly. It's just moving quickly. We got a new program at our job, and so I was happy to be back to check that thing out. And then we had people that came in. I like when people come in and I can talk to them. So if you're feeling optimistic and uplifting, put up that orange emoji heart. This is my favorite right here. Just saying. Brown heart, but you had a messed up day. Everybody gets the gist of the messed up day. Brown heart, you had a day. We have days like that. We have days that we, I just want to put this in front of your face. Like, we have days like that. I had a co-worker that just had a day like that, literally on Sunday night. So if you're having a messed up day, brown heart. This is our white heart. Our white heart has so many mixed emotions, some minimalism, some blankness, and I can't quite get that right there. White emoji heart. Doing the bare minimum. So blank. Tell me what you're feeling. The white heart. Miss Carter threw up the gray heart as usual. She's cool and self-restraint. I need to take some pointers from you. Cool and self-restraint. Self-restraint is a good thing. Ronnie Bell money. And as I said, I put up the light blue emoji heart. I'm relaxing and friendly. You can see tonight I'm more cheerful. Big smiles. I'm relaxing and friendly. I'll tell you guys why in a minute. And that last emoji heart we have is our black emoji heart. Our black emoji heart. If you're feeling some type of sadness and anger, this is the one that I'm can be concerned in, that can turn into those other ones being in a dark place. And when you're going through sadness and anger, sometimes you suppress it so much, like a compactor. When it can't get suppressed no more, then other things happen. So if you're in having some sadness and some anger, again, let's talk about that. That thing has to be worked out. It has to be worked out quickly. So I'm not gonna make these a kit. You had some great news for me. Did she get the book? That's all I'm gonna say. Did she get the book? These are wonderful to make. Again, if you have small children, you can minus the brown heart. But if you have small children, and just for them to even try to identify with any type of feelings, make these. It's just some construction paper and some. I put straws on the back of them, taped it on the back, and put the fillings and things on the back of them. So that's why I was reading off the back of them. But these are great for your kids. Great. Your teenagers, not so much, but your young kids that can't identify with feelings yet, but they know it's something. Your 5-year-olds that go, oh, right? Those 5-year-old boys that go, oh. And you had the little girls that just start hitting, right? So trying to get our young ones to start communicating how they feel, to even identify what that feeling is. That's a great thing for communication. Again, it's just some construction paper, tape, and some straws. So tonight, I think I titled this, can your past hinder your presence? And can it hinder your treatment and recovery and therapy? It can. In some ways, it cannot. It depends on where you're at, what season you're at in your life. But tonight, I'm going to be particularly talking about negative thoughts. There's a lot of those going around right about now, negative thoughts. The city is just, the country really. A lot's been going on. We've seen a lot on TV. I just looked at TV for the first time today with the news. She said your heart changed throughout the day. Okay, Sheree, mine did too. Because, yeah, I was okay this morning till that phone started ringing off the hook. But again, I work on a hotline, can't complain. So, but it was just back to back to back to back to back. Wednesdays is usually coast day, not the day, but it was okay. It was okay. So I'm talking about negative thoughts. And usually when you're talking about your past and something has occurred, something has happened, you were not able to cope with it. Again, we suppress those things down. We don't even want to think about the past. A lot of people don't even want to talk about it. I had a young lady that called me today. She's been married for 10 years. 10 years. They've known each other. Her and her husband has known each other for since they were in the 4th grade. And she's just finding out bits and pieces about his life, slowly but surely, while he's going through these breakdowns. And it's frustrating her. Especially when you're in a tight relationship like that. Any relationship, it'll frustrate you if you feel like you can't help your mate. your significant other, or your children. And some children can be adopted, can be step. People come in with different things in their lives. Can be godchildren. They come in with different things in their lives. You feel helpless for that person, and then you get some frustration. Could be like, listen, just open up to me if you let me help you. But that person doesn't want to look at their past. They're having so many negative thoughts. And one of those negative thoughts is don't trust anybody. Trust is really broken. I believe from the age of 1 to 3, that's when your child gets that trust versus mistrust, because then they have the nurturing side. They know who mommy and daddy is. Mommy and daddy loves them. And after a while, when they're starting to walk on their own and, they fall down, they're going to make sure mommy and daddy's right there. They're going to make sure mommy and daddy is, taking care of them. So that trust part. And, sometimes you'll tell them to hold your hand. And as they get older, they'll let it go and want to go on their own. That means they trust you enough to go on their own. But they know that you're not far behind. You get what I'm saying? Hey, Pastor James, how are you tonight? So that trust versus mistrust happens, and it gets severed somewhere. And so if there was some trauma in someone's life, if somebody betrayed you, hurt you or harmed you, and that can be just through a family thing, infidelity within a marriage or within a relationship, that trust is severed. And if they had past issues with trust, being deceived and hurt, it's going to hit them like a brick wall. And so, like I told the young lady today, even though she's trying to help, he's just putting up more cinder blocks to block her off every time something happens. So she's trying to help being, a wife, but he's just building a whole wall around him. He already had a wall up. Probably was a small fence, from prior, because he let her in. They got married. They've been married for 10 years. But things has been happening in both of their lives. And he's building this wall. And she's right at the top. We have that with your children. And that can be your adult children. They'll build this wall up. And so behind that wall, they're thinking, I can't trust that person. That person is just like someone else. I've been through this before. There's a lot of things that go on with that. So let me define negative thoughts for you guys. Negative thoughts are intrusive, pessimistic, and distressing thoughts that can impact a person's mood, well-being, and their behavior. It's often categorized by cognitive distortions. Distortions is like when your TV have that razzle in it and it blink and come off. Or distortion in your music. It's an interruption in something, which are faulty thinking patterns that lead to inaccurate perceptions and interpretations of events. Common cognitive distortions: catastrophizing, exaggerating the potential negative consequences of events. Oh my God, the world's coming to an end. Or, oh my God, they're not going to love me anymore. So that negative thought in their mind was, if you go back to the core thought is, I'm lovable, I'm unlovable. And it can be catastrophizing about something small. And kids do this all the time. You ask them to take something out to eat for dinner, and they forget to take it out because they was playing a video game, they was on TikTok making videos, and by the time you come home, you're ready to cook. You're hungry, first of all, you're ready to cook, and nothing's taken out. And so you're telling your child, oh, why didn't you take anything out the refrigerator? I called you 2 or 3 times. What's going on? In their mind, they're catastrophizing it. They're the worst child in the world. I can't do nothing right. Ms. Carter said, the mask has helped me a lot with the negative feelings. So lately, I've been in my stance with prayer and saying what I mean. Hey, building them boundaries, honey. Building them boundaries. That's going to be something I'm going to talk about, Ms. Carla, maybe next week, next Wednesday. What she's talking about is this activity that's in my healing journal. And that's you say, oh wow, okay, you gave your testimony at the Croc Center. Are they ready for me there yet? That's awesome. That's powerful, matter of fact, because then they the way they probably see you as that bold grizzly bear. Grizzly bears, they look dangerous. They are actually, but they're so cute, right? Miss Carla, I'm not saying you're a big grizzly bear, but you can be dangerous when pushed to that level, and that's with anybody. So, giving your testimony at the Croc Center for the ladies there, they probably was in awe. I know they was in awe, like, wow, like we thought you take so much and you can. The second negative thought is all or nothing thinking, viewing situations as either all good or all bad. There's no gray. There's no gray. Overgeneralization, drawing broad negative conclusions from isolated events. Broad negative conclusions from isolated events. So if something happened in your childhood, you'll try to compare it to something that's going on now. Lord have mercy, my eyes are dry. And I can't put the drops in because I'll be blind. Disqualifying the positive. And this is what I tell people. When you're disqualifying the positive, you're living in the past. You're there in the past. But you're in the present. You're in the present day. You can't think of anything that has happened good in your life. A panda bear is always quiet. Yeah, they'll rip you apart too, Miss Carter. They cute. Them panda bears cute. They will tear you up. They will tear you up. So yeah, you're okay. A panda bear. I got you. I got you. I'm gonna make you a panda bear. Put your name on it. So disqualifying the positive, focusing only on negative aspects of a situation and ignoring the positive. If you moved on in your life and you were able to get past something, you were able to cope with something, and that thing hit you again, you're going to go all the way back to where it was from the prior before. And so I like the view of the lady says, if you're on a ladder and you're climbing up, you're having difficulty, try to hold on, even though you're falling, try to hold on and grab hold of something and fall down on maybe two landings. If you're holding on, if you're not holding on and you're falling, you're going to go all the way back to the bottom and have to start all the way back over. And you don't know how many levels up in life you have gotten, because again, you're disqualifying the positives and you're all the way back down to that mindset from the beginning. And that can hinder recovery and treatment. Not being heard, but you being heard now. I told you, learn your no. That's one of the biggest things to do. Learn your no. Blaming. Blaming. Attributing negative events to external factors or onset rather than considering other possible causes. Sometimes we blame other things. We blame the situation, or we just blame that's how they are. I hate that. I hate that. When you're around people and you're meeting somebody or you're getting connected to a person, and they like, well, that's how I am, or that's how that's how they are. What do you mean? That's how y'all been allowing this person to involve themselves in your interpersonal relationships with you. You're hindering them, and that behavior will stay with them until somebody says, "Oh, that's not the way we do things around here." Ooh, girl. But you wanted to. Let me just say that. Miss Carter said they had her cursing and she don't. Miss Carter don't cuss. So if you was at that black heart, sadness and anger. And so it erupted. especially when you're not being heard. Either you're going to voice it vocally or you're going to do it in another way. I'm glad you did it in the vocal way and not the other way. Sometimes when we feel like we're stuck in those corners, we will fight. No matter if we know we can't win or not, we will fight. When you get down to it, we'll fight. And that's when you get the going postal from, as what they say. You had enough. You had enough. You did what? Honey, the 20th is next week. The 20th is next week. Listen. So these are possible reasons to have these negative thoughts, or why the negative thoughts come up. Can be some mental health issues. You might be struggling with depression, generalized anxiety disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder. There can be some mental health issues there. And sometimes those mental health issues is undiagnosed. Young lady called in a day for her son. He's 17. Depression, MDD, so major depressive disorder. And she said he has emotional disturbance. So emotional baseball bat. Listen, don't make me come over there. This is recorded, so there could be some mental health issues going on, undiagnosed. So she was saying that they have a history in their family of schizophrenia, and she did not want that to be the onset of her son. But he had so many losses. He's had more losses than I had. So I told his mom, and they just recently moved from Texas to Philadelphia, and so he's not being able to adjust good schools. He's not being able to adjust, and then the losses that he has had. That's a lot of grief there, and not being able to cope with those losses, especially when you're moving from such a big city to now Philadelphia. Now, the answer was him moving to Philadelphia, not a good thing, because people in Philly, it's different. Tell me, how did it turn out on the back end, Miss Carla? Because you got tired, and what did that look like to the other person? Were they receptive to it, or did they freeze up? So being receptive is like, listen, I know this is going on. It might be some conflict going back and forth, but let me put my hands up. So when you put your hands up like this to anybody, police, someone that is probably trying to engage you into physical confrontation, you're letting them know, listen, I'm not a threat. I'm not a threat. Your hands are down, depending on your position and how your body language is. That'll get a person more angrier, especially when they have those negative thoughts, and you're the trigger at that moment. Even walking away, some people, they get that in their mind. Again, if you're not listening to me, if I told you you're not listening, and while we're going back and forth trying to get some communication, but we're both people are trying to talk at the same time, you're like, listen, man, I'm gonna just walk away from you because you ain't even listening. You ain't paying attention. Ain't no use to me even talking to you. Once you walk away, that person already again has it in their mind. They wasn't listening to me in the first place. So I'm gonna make you listen. And they're following you. Trauma. Possible causes of negative thoughts can be trauma. You might not have fully processed your past trauma. And so if something happened in your childhood and you didn't process that, and you had something else happen in your adulthood and you never processed that, it's trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. And those things merge together. They merge together. Sometimes they don't merge perfectly. You might have something ugly looking merging together, but they're always there. They're always there. And you can't pick out what's going on because it's all together. They can't pick it out. Like, the pixie stick we used to have, you got to pick the little red stick out from the little yellow stick. They can't in their mind pick out This is the incident that happened. They all merged together. It's one big old mess, especially when it's reoccurring trauma. Unhelpful thinking. You might be catastrophizing or using negative thoughts as a defense mechanism. I would be scared too, Miss Carla said they were scared. I would be scared too. Absolutely. So unhelpful thinking. You might be catastrophizing or using negative thoughts as a defense mechanism. That means the person that you're talking to, however the behavior that you learned, because it's a learned behavior, is a survival tactic. You can be using it as a defense mechanism to defend yourself. Be it shutting down, and in your mind, you're thinking negative. Like, this person really don't love me. I don't even know why they're here. They're using me. They're using me. And then the next time you'll have a conversation, well, you're using me anyway. Why am I here? You don't love me. You're like, wait, where did that come from? Or your kids. They'll say the same thing to you. You never did anything for me. You wasn't around. Where would you at? You're like, well, hold on. Wasn't I? Now, maybe if I wasn't in the beginning, because you was pushing me away, but now I'm here. And in their mind, no one loves them. No one helps them. No one cares about them. Using it as a defense mechanism. Family history. You might have this is what I'm talking about. You might have learned unhelpful ways of dealing with your negative emotions from family members. If mom and dad always argued, if grandma and mom always argued, if that's how y'all got, how they solved issues within a home, or if there was slamming doors, and even if you slam doors and went to your mutual corners, but they never seen you try to work that thing out. So it's learned behaviors. Or if you see your brother always getting mad and punching the wall, when your little baby grow up, you're going, ugh, and they'll end up punching something. Babies start out with biting first. That's why I don't like holding babies between the age of 2 and 4. They got teeth. And that's their only defense mechanism. Unless they're going to grab you, pull your hair or something, they bite you. Kids, they bite. Social pressures. You might be feeling pressure from family or social circles. Oh, she said, you went for the, Miss Carla, I do not have any bell money. You went for the main vein. Yeah, I think I'm going to call you before the 20th. But you did say you had some good news. You had some good news. So those social pressures. You might be feeling pressure from family or social circles. If you're having an issue with someone and you triangulation that thing, so it's you, the person, and you bring somebody else in there, and they're just giving you bad advice. Like, I hate when they had the Bad Girls Club out. You know that TV show, the reality show, the Bad Girls Club. All women don't act like that. First of all, when I was drinking, I'm not throwing my drink on you because it costs some money. They cost money now. So, social pressures and social circles, leave them. You ain't got to stay with that person. Now, never give that advice unless there is extreme and insinuating circumstances, abuse. Maybe there's infidelity. But again, you have to have that person make that choice for themselves. Just be there and support them. Even when a lot of people call their friends and they vent. They vent. But when they're venting, they just want to talk. They might say, you know what I'm saying, girl? Mm-hmm. It's when to get out what they couldn't say to the other person before they bust. Boredom. Yeah, boredom. You might be bored with your life. Not knowing your purpose. You may have missed some goals, major goals in your past. My best friend, he was going to play college football. and he got sick. That was his dream. He got sick. And now he has these thoughts in his mind. I'm never going to be good at anything. I'm a waste of time sometimes. When he's bored, when you don't feel like you have a purpose. Some people say, well, why am I even here? And you're the person that they're asking that question to. And I don't know. What do you mean why you're here? You're here because you're on this earth. It's not the time to go. They don't know they don't feel like they have a purpose. The goals in life has just struck them down. They haven't hit the mark all the time. Sometimes you're in a job that you don't even want, even if you do have a degree. You can have a degree and have a job that you don't want. Maybe you just took it because it's the first thing that came along. Maybe it was for the benefits, maybe it was for the money. And right now, money ain't right. Know where you work. Oh, I've never asked, or your significant other never asked you how you was doing, or about your appointment. I'm gonna give you a trick for that. I'm gonna give you a trick for that. I don't want to give you the. Come on, Kimble. Negative thoughts can impact the dwelling in your past, rumination. Repeating things about past negative experience can lead to rumination, which is a state of being stuck on negative thoughts and feelings. And I think I went over rumination before, when that's all you talk about all the time. No matter what conversation you're in, you can be ordering a cheeseburger from the store and you're with a friend. You're like, yeah, because you remember last time when I told you about Pearl? She cheated on me before. I think she's doing it now. You're stuck on that cheating moment. You're not enjoying life. You're not enjoying life. It's something constant in your mind. Something constant. Will they ever be right? Will they ever love me? Will I ever have love? Will I ever find love? And then you'll have that all or nothing. All women are the same. All women are the same. Or all men are, they're all the same. They just do the same thing to you. Depression, constantly dwelling on negative past experience can contribute to symptoms of depression, such as persistent sadness, feelings of regret, loneliness, and lack of interest. Those are stages. Persistent sadness is just not 1 or 2 days. Persistent sadness is 2 weeks, and it keeps going. But you're moving. You're moving. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. You're working. You're coming home to feed the kids. You're taking care of the house. But that persistent sadness it's a feeling of emptiness, like you're hungry inside your stomach, but anything that you eat is not filling it up. There's no satisfaction there. That's the lack of interest. Feelings of regret. Why did I even come back? Why am I even here? And then you'll have those things, again, why am I here? Why am I on this earth? What's the point in life? Exacerbation of symptoms, nostalgia, while sometimes positive, can also intensify underlying feelings of dissatisfaction or loss. When comparing past experience to the present, potentially exacerbating symptoms of depression. You compare your past to your present, and it's not the same. It doesn't pan out. Again, it's going to merge in, because the sadness is going to take over. It always does. It's like oil and water. They don't mix together. It doesn't mix together, your past and your present, especially if you're dragging that past with you. Impeding present enjoyment. Focusing focusing excessively on the past can make it difficult to fully engage in and enjoy your present moments. Now, while you're in that present moment, you just graduated, right? You just got a new job. You got accepted to college. You actually, your girlfriend to marry you. You're about to get a new apartment. While you're in that moment, you can feel those feelings. You're excited. Your adrenaline is going. You can see people congratulating you. You can see people are supporting you. But once that moment leaves, you got the degree. You're starting to work. You're in the apartment. Your girlfriend has the engagement ring on. You're right back to those negative thoughts. You're right back to the negative thoughts. And it affects your present. You'll think about more of the things that happened in your past, the negative things. And you can't really remember good things that happened. Like the time you got money in your wallet for a birthday, or they threw you a surprise birthday party. Those spaces of enjoyment, they you push them in the back, and like they never happen. I think if you watch In and Out, it's a child's movie where you learned about sadness, anger, and then they had the In and Out too, when anxiety was introduced into her emotions. But in and Out one, the emotion that was sad, they wanted to keep her at bay. Because when she was sad, everybody else went down. But they were scared. Don't let her be too sad for too long. Matter of fact, sadness, go over there and do something. They were saying, go do something while we can handle this over here. And I tell people all the time, those emotions of being sad, unhappy, dissatisfied, disgusted, even with regrets, we don't want to feel those emotions. They hurt too much. We don't process those emotions. The young lady that I was talking to today on the phone, she said, I'll go in my car and I'll cry. And I had to ask her, do you feel better after you cry? And she was like, not really. I said, when you're crying, in your mind, does that make you feel weak? Or like you waving a white flag too much? You're giving a little bit too much to this person and they're not giving anything back? Do you feel, it's more of you giving than they're giving? And she was like, yes. And I said, do you let your mate know that you went in your car and cried? She said, oh, he knows. After you cry, you may not feel better, but you're getting it out. You're processing it. That crying means something's not in your body that's not happy. There's some harm done. There's some hurt done. Now, if you can't tell a person that, had you in that space at the moment that you was crying because you still feel vulnerable, I would advise you to write it down. Because you're going to lose what that was. Because again, you're going to push it down. And then maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, maybe a year later, you'll bring it up. And the person that that's involved in it, like, what are you talking about? Why are we talking about something that happened a year ago? Because you still haven't processed it. They're not in that space with you. Trauma. Past trauma can have a lasting impact on your mental health, potentially leading to conditions like PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, and depression. And I'll just add on to that, it can also lead to substance abuse and substance use. That's not mentioned here, but I will add on to that. Causes. Negative thoughts can arise from various factors, including stressful life events, again, trauma, loss, or significant changes. The loss of a loved one. It can be the loss of a good job. A lot of people right now are going through those stressful life events. I forgot what city it was today, but they let go the whole Department of Education. I think it was over 600 employees lost their job today. I forgot what city it's in. And the news went to our superintendent in Philly and asked, are you guys at that point in your mind where this may happen to you guys? And before those 600 people in the Department of Education, whatever city it was, lost their job, there's been major overhauls, major people losing their job under the federal. He's closing things down. He's shutting things down. You go to work one day and they tell you that you're fired. You haven't done anything. And imagine if you just you now just started that job. You only been in it for 3 months. And they tell you that you're fired. You're no longer needed here. That's a major life event. It can stress you out. Genetics. Some individuals may be more predisposed to negative thinking. And that can be behavior as well. Genetics, the behaviors. When I'm talking about behaviors, is if somebody says something to you and you're looking in a fighting stance, you're ready, you're on go. It can be constructive criticism. It can be someone saying they can help you. You're not ready for help, or you're not used to getting it. I don't need you to help me with anything. Nobody will help me anyway. And a person like, well, I'm right here. Again, they're not in that season to I don't know what happened. Oh, come on. They're not in that season to receive the help. And to them, you helping them makes them feel weak. You helping them, they don't see that you're helping them. There's an alternative to why you're helping. Again, the mental health conditions, depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder. With obsessive compulsive disorder, I would like to add in there perfectionism. A lot of people don't have OCD. They want things to be perfect because the person in their life, you may have not been validated. Remember, I talked about this before. You may have not been validated, getting good grades in school, being a top person in your class, always excelling at something. You didn't get it validated. Your mom never put the report card on the refrigerator. She never told you. Your grandparents never told you, you're doing a good job. You never got validated as a child. And so that perfectionism comes out. Everything you do has to be perfect. You try to strive for that. And that can be stressful for that person as well. Husband, wife, friend, when they're striving for it, I can say it's some people please. They people please, and they don't like it, but they think that's what they need to do to have friends, to have family love them. There are 5 C's of negative thoughts, negative thinking. It's complaining, criticizing, concern, commiserating, and catastrophizing. These thought patterns can lead to cycles of negative thinking. I was going to come back to... Okay. Strategies to cope with them. So if you're having these thoughts, if you're having somebody that you see in that pattern of always coming up with something negative, or they always talking about the past, or when you're asking them something, it's an explosion. All right. That's my time, guys. It's an explosion. It's something little. Did you take the trash out today? What the hell you mean did I take it out today? You know I take the trash out all the time. Hey, it's trash day tomorrow. That's all. Again, in their mind, they're lazy. They never did anything. They don't do nothing now. And if they're at a job where they don't like the job and it's below their pay grade, they feel bad. They can't be the provider. And that's probably because mom may have said in the past when they were children, you ain't going to be nothing in your life. You're never going to be nothing. You bad, you dumb, you can't think. There ain't no one going to want you. And sometimes men don't talk about these things, ladies. And it can be simply the mother saying, you gonna be just like your daddy. You ain't. And men get it a lot. Men get it a lot. I'm not a chauvinist. I'm just letting you know. Men get it a lot. Women, we're nurturers. So sometimes we will talk. We will talk that thing out with our girlfriends. We'll go to therapy and we'll try to talk that thing out. But men, if a mother shut their son down when they were younger, it's going to be a difficult change. It's going to be a difficult time for him to take that and try to turn that around in his life. If his mother was a key point of something, he may look at all women that way. However, if his mom was a key point of something and he had a good aunt or a good grandmother or a good teacher that was a female, he might can see that it's just my mom and mommy has those problems, not me. However, he's going to want to help his mother, and a child shouldn't be trying to help their mother. So they'll put more on them. They'll go work early. They'll go out there and hustle at the gas station, pumping the gas. They want to take the pain away from mom because she's hurting. But mom never dealt with her trauma, her past trauma, the things she went through. And now she's bleeding on her son. It happens. Strategies to cope. Challenge the negative thoughts. Question if your thoughts are realistic and look for alternative explanations. For that person that has that thought, they're unlovable, they're unworthy. Question it. Is it true? Who loved you in your life? Who loves you now? Maybe when you need to hear that often, not see it, you need to hear it often. Affirmations, being loved, spoken it. Because when it's a negative thought, it's always in your mind. And they just come. And even when you sleep, they come. That thought, waking up on the wrong side of the bed, is actually true. No matter if you get out on the left side or the right side, those thoughts that stuck with you that night, even if you had a good night, watched a good movie, you chilled, you laughed, ate a good meal, you seen something in that movie, you're not thinking about it then, but once you're sleeping, those thoughts just come automatically. Or if you didn't process what happened in your situation, the argument, something that happened at work that you left there stale, you come home and that thing sits with you. So challenge it. Is it realistic? Is Barbara at work going to think that I can't do anything right? Because remember, Barbara's a woman, and your mom told you that you wasn't going to be, when you grow up, you're going to be just like your daddy, and you ain't going to never do anything right. So if you didn't turn in a report to your supervisor when you were supposed to, and your supervisor gets on you at work, hey Stan, I needed that report yesterday. Come on, you got to pull your weight in here. That thought in your mind is, she think I'm dumb, I'm slow, I'm stupid. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be anything. I never can get anything right. Is it a realistic thought? Because she's the CEO and you're the assistant director. You wouldn't be in that position if you wasn't doing anything right. How about you have a good relationship? Do I deserve this relationship? I can't believe this, I really have this relationship. Do I deserve it? I got a man that takes care of me, that cares for me. that'll do anything for me. Do I even deserve this man? Because the last 2-3 minutes you had beat on you. And so you ready. When he's arguing with you, you're ready. You are ready. I wish he would. But that thought never crossed his mind. He's like, what you got your fist balled up for? Or you grabbing something real quick. Check, is those thoughts realistic? Also, recognize your thoughts. Notice when you're having negative thoughts. If you woke up and you were in a good mood, and maybe somebody said something throughout the day, maybe you heard something throughout the day, and it wasn't even directed at you, and your mood changes like that, now you're grumpy Stan, or grumpy Barbara, or you're irritated or frustrated. What's that thought in your mind? Recognize the thought, process it. Why do I feel this way? What's around me right now that's affecting me, that's impacting my emotions at this time? You probably heard that Barbara was arguing with her husband and she's ready to leave, and you rocky with your marriage. If Barbara gonna leave her husband, I know my wife gonna leave me because I'm a good for nothing anyway. That's what my mother told me. And your wife at home fighting teeth and nail to hang into their marriage, but you heard Barbara is leaving her husband, so my wife is going to leave me too because I'm unlovable. Challenge recognize those negative thoughts. Challenge your thoughts. Try to see a different perspective on your thoughts. Try to challenge your thoughts. Is it factual? If you're getting criticized, some people can't take constructive criticism. Ask, what do I do that's good? Or tell yourself what you do is good. I know my mom gave me this thought in my mind, but I'm here. I got a good family, I got good kids. My wife is, challenge those thoughts. And this is another one, as I said, accept the bad feelings. Try not to blow things out of proportion. Work through that sadness, work through the anger, work through the frustration. And I mean, if you have to go in a room and scream and holler and yell, if that person is not there, you're getting through that. Because once you see them, it's going to be full blown fire. And if you're throwing fire at somebody, they're ready to just douse some water on you to put it out. They're not ready for that. They're not ready for that. So try not to, blow things out of proportion. If your boss said, I need that report in, it was supposed to be turned in yesterday. You might have a report on your desk. It just needs a little, tightening up somewhere. All right, Miss Barb, I got you. I'll head it by tomorrow. Don't think you're getting fired. Don't think, Miss Barb, it's too hard on you. You know that you're good. You know that you got that job on your own merit. You know you're capable because you wouldn't be there. Practice gratitude. Keep a gratitude journal to focus on the positive. I tell people, well, put it in your phone. Because all of our phones got the calendar. You can put things in there, either on your Google Calendar, on your whatever calendar you have. You can put those things in there. So if you was having a bad day on Monday, bad day Monday. Wife was fussing. When's your wife made the best dinner you had? You were able to talk about what happened Monday. Nobody fussed. Everybody got an understanding. You were heard. You made it up. You were maybe talking about having some free time to yourselves. Identifying that y'all don't spend enough time together because you working, he working. Your gratitude is you're thankful for your wife. You wouldn't have been thankful, you wouldn't have married her. The gratitude is your husband is your provider, even though you work too. Without my husband, I couldn't be where I am. And I'm just talking to myself. When my daddy passed, I was a mess. And truth be told, my daddy and my husband, they bumped heads. They bumped heads. My husband he didn't recognize that I can be a daddy's girl at 40 something years old. Every time I see my dad, I would light up, hey daddy. Still do it. That was my guy. That was my guy. And my dad was like, he's too harsh. I don't like the way he talked to you. I'm like, Dad, I honestly need it. I honestly need it. Now, sometimes the way it comes off may not be the best policy or practice, but I honestly, I need that stern voice, that stern, no, you won't. We ain't doing it today. I need that because I'll try to do 10 and 11 things in one day, knowing I only got 24 hours. That's that perfectionism. So when my dad passed, not depending on my dad all the time for everything, I now have to understand that my husband has been there all that time. And now I'm levying it up because my dad's not there. I must first depend on God and allow my husband to lead. And when I'm following, I'm right at his side. He's not in front of me. I'm not in back of him. When he's leading, I'm right at his side. This is probably a difficult one. Take responsibility and recognize that you are responsible for your feelings, how you feel. Nobody can't tell you how you feel the way you feel at the moment that something's happening, in between it happening, around a corner from it happening, and the next day. Oh, you don't feel that way. Your friends are like, you don't feel that way. Nah, they ain't you, bro. They ain't you, bro. You ain't no sucker. You ain't no sucker. You feel like you're being taken advantage of. But your friends, again, where's that? Social pressures. You may have been a mama's boy all your life. And mama can tell you what to do and you'll do it. Your wife, on the other hand, you arguing with her tooth and nail. And mama told you the same thing that wife told you. And your boys know it. And you should just listen to your mom, man. She always right anyway. You listen to your mom. Don't have your wife having, the tie around your neck that tight. That'll get to, again, that triangulation. That's bad advice, first of all. And second of all, you're not helping the situation. So recognize that you're responsible for your own feelings. Process your feelings. Try to work through your feelings. Let me see. It should be in my... Sorry, guys. Just grabbing a book. I'm trying to wrap this up in a minute. I thought I had Oh, come on now. Where my I statements at? I'm looking for I statements. When you're dealing with your feelings and emotions, you have to say I, so you know it, you're owning it. I feel, I want, I need. It is. So I'm on this in this book. If you have the healing journal on page 26, 27, and 28. But it'll explain the activity on 25. It says, accept your emotions, allowing them to exist within you, working towards being comfortable with them. Try using I statements when communicating. Here are a few you can try. Write down what comes after each statement. Practicing these statements allows you to freely express yourself, and it allows the person listening to you to hear clearly what you are communicating without misinterpreting the emotions or the feelings. I know sometimes when some people get mad, they say F it, or the hell with it, or whatever. I don't even care anymore. And on the back end of that, you're saying you're hurt. You wounded me. But the person that you're talking to don't hear that again, because you spitting fire and they just trying to throw the water on you to put the fire out. But if you say, I feel like you don't appreciate me, you may not say thank you all the time. You may not show gratitude towards me all the time. That person is now hearing what you're saying instead of listening. And so my first life skill class is going to be on communication. I'm just probably going, okay, you're going to check that out. I think it's in the book twice. It's in the book twice, the I statements. So it's I feel, I wish, I think, I need, I hope, and I want. Now, the I hope is future stuff. Because if you're going through something and it's holding you back, you do think people that have negative thoughts do think about the future. Either they're moving away from something, they're going to get out the relationship, or they want it to get better. But they don't know how to communicate that. Because remember, they're thinking these negative thoughts. Everything is going to always be the same. Ain't nothing going to change. It's the same relationship I had with Sarah. Women don't like that, first of all. Don't say our relationship is the same. I don't know who Sarah is. Let's call it since you learned that in the night. So Sarah and Kimble was two different people. Don't know who Sarah is, but we right here right now. So let me know what when you say you hope what? How can I help you? How can we make this better? And so you saying the hell with this. Ain't nothing going to change anyway. They hear you when you have some type of hope. They see that you're struggling in a relationship. They can feel that you're struggling in a relationship. This is a good book to get, guys. I'm going to be working out of this a little bit more coming up. Identify the source. I got 3 more to do. Identify the source. Try to pinpoint where your feelings are coming from. Try to pinpoint where your feelings are coming from. Is it something in that situation right now that you're going through, or is it taking you back to another time in your past? Is it coming from that hurt child that mom said wasn't nothing? Or is it coming from that hurt woman that got beat and he raised his voice and you felt like he was about to attack you? Where are those feelings coming from? Is it the present? Schedule time for negative thoughts. This may seem crazy, wacky. Set aside a specific time to allow negative thoughts. To allow them. Just like we suppress hurt feelings and emotions, and those emotions that we don't want to feel, the sadness, the frustration, we try to suppress those things. You have to know your thoughts in order to try to correct the behavior and the thinking. CBT is cognitive behavior therapy. They try to help you change the thoughts. You check it, correct it, and challenge it. I think it's check, challenge, and correct it. Something like that. I got to get the 3 C's again. But I'll put that in the chat. I'll put that in the chat, the CBT therapy, what the focus is on it. And I would say to identifying the source. Some people trigger people. Some people trigger, and you can, the spouse can trigger you, your wife can trigger you. She can. Maybe it's the tingle in her voice. Maybe it's the way she moving her head. Maybe it's the way she putting her finger in your face. That's a trigger to some men, because mom probably did that back in the day. Put the hand all in the face. The same thing with the man. If you're walking up on a woman while y'all talking, that's going to trigger her in her head. She won't be ready because she's already been abused. The same thing for your children. Even though you're the parent, you can trigger your kids. Kids are tiny adults that ain't paying no bills right now. The only responsibility they have is to keep living, eating your food, and going to school. But they are tiny adults because they have feelings. And those feelings sometimes can be real strong and overpowering. And especially if they don't have a good home environment. You're the trigger. You wonder why they're coming in late at night because they want to hear all that arguing and fussing. You don't even got the other 2 or 3 siblings under control. I ain't coming in my house right now. I ain't going home right now. I'm going my friend's house. And you over there till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night on the school night. And when you come in, the first thing your mom do is, where the hell you been at? And the kids still up. They still up. And that can hinder a male as he gets older. Now he has children. And maybe the mom don't got a close relationship with the, obtaining and making sure the household is sturdy. Because again, parenting doesn't come with a handbook. And she got 3 kids. 2 is 4 months apart. And not 4 months. It'll be so insane. 2 is 4 years apart. And 1 is 6 years apart. You got 3 kids. They all got 3 different personalities. And if that man never had nurturing in his family, and he always seen his mom do it, he won't think he can do it too. Oh, I ain't got time to be helping with the kids. That's her job. And then a wife is upset. The baby mom is upset. But yeah, women will take on that responsibility and not let the man in to scorn the kids, to help with the kids, to even. Listen, I just gave 2 of them a bath. I'm tired. I'm soaking wet right now. Go give John a bath. John is a boy. I ain't got to go wash John up. You're supposed to do that. Even though y'all mad, he needs to be doing those things in the role of the husband. If you feel as though he's just there providing and you need him to give you some help, you have to voice that. I need you to help me. We both work. I know we both work. But when I come home, all I do is I have the kids. I'm helping them with their homework. I'm trying to get dinner started. And you come in and we fussing because the kids is out of control. I need you to help me. I told the lady today, tuck your Superman cape in because it's already out. Tuck it in. We don't like to ask for help because we've seen our parents be independent. But they was independent because they didn't have their husband or their boyfriend or their baby father in the home. Back in the 70s, 80s, a lot of people were on public assistance, after the Depression, whatever. And so when you got on public assistance, a man couldn't exist. In order for you to get those services, and it's still like that today, in order for you to get those services, the man has to be out of the home. And that's how they taught their children. And so now that you got your husband in a home, you still want to do everything by yourself and you're frustrated. Focus on the present. Try to live in the moment instead of dwelling on the past or worrying about your future. Live in the moment, even if it's scary, even if it's an argument. Okay, we arguing over this again now, right now. Some people like that back and forth. It's helpful sometimes because you can sometimes hear what you didn't get the first time when an argument happened because they're saying something now, they're getting it out. Sometimes it's a hindrance. You never want to talk about that thing again. Talk about it. Considering talking to someone about your negative thoughts. That ain't your girlfriend that live down the street. That ain't the coworker at work. That ain't your Aunt Betty or your cousin Stan that live all the way down south. Those things have to be talked about with a professional. Because you're doing some grumbling, you're doing some complaining, and that person is just adding fuel to your fire. I hear so many conversations where someone is not being represented in their household correctly, and the first thing a person to say was, "Girl, you should leave them." But you probably having the same problems with your man, and you sticking in there. But you want to tell her to leave hers. That ain't helping them at all, especially if they're a runner. They're a runner. They will. They up and out. They done left you and the kids. Again, that triangulation. You, the person, and then the person that's listening to you guys, and that they put right in the middle of that, they're not helping you. Can be you, your therapist, and your key thing can be talking about your problems in therapy, not about what he. And that's what I say. When treatment happens in therapy, they're going to ask you problems. What's the problems that you're having? They may even ask you to identify if you're having problems with a certain person, your husband, the kids, difficulty at work, and how it's impacting you. I can't sleep. I'm always angry. I'm fidgety. I can't remember things. I feel so down and low. There might be depression. There might be anxiety. Now, if they're a good therapist, and I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it, they focus on you. Because you remember, therapists is people too. They got problems too. But if they're a good therapist, they're focusing on you. Let me get some information about what happened to you in your childhood. How were you raised? How are you living? What problems do you have? And they should be asking, what do you want to work on in therapy? Not what I want. We're going to do this. We're going to talk about this. This is my therapeutic styles. Run. If they're not asking you what you want to work on in therapy, what brings you here, that's your present. They want to know about your past and what can we work on in here with therapy for you. Run. Because you'll be in therapy for a while thinking you're getting treated, and you're just going to another person that's a professional grumbling and complaining and pointing the finger. It's always his fault. No one's perfect. Therapy and treatment is for you to work on your problems, your things that you're struggling with. Even though that person is in your life and you're struggling with them, remember, you carried that old baggage in and never processed it. And it's sitting right next to you, a big old pile of funk. Accept the bad feelings and take responsibility and identify the source. Sometimes you are the problem. You're your own destruction. They talk about mindfulness here. Be aware of negative thoughts without judgment. Challenge your thoughts. Question the validity and consider alternatives. Positive affirmations. Replace negativity with positive statements. We already talked about gratitude. Focus on what you're thankful for. Positive environment. Surround yourself with supportive people. Now, because I serve a God that is able and capable, God wants us to replace those negative thoughts with positive ones, and that we can do this by focusing on what's good and what's true. You can hear the adage, God never put too much on you that you can bear. God, you're my rock, you're my foundation. Be guide me with these things. Philippians 4:8, focus on what's true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, and praiseworthy. Again, that's the gratitude. That's the gratitude. 1 Peter 5:7, cast your cares on God who cares for you. Verse 4:23, be careful with what you think because your thoughts run your life. If you put them negative words out there, those curse words out there, it's going to come to fruition as we think, we speak. So instead of saying, I want to get out of this marriage, I just need a divorce. First of all, the person that's hearing that is hurt. And you saying it in your mind, it's going to come to fruition because you're going to act on it one day. So, Psalms 118:24. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. List things you are grateful for and give all your worries and cares to God. Practice reframing negative thoughts with God's truth. Stand firm against the devil and be strong in your faith. Now, if you don't think that the enemy is listening to you, grumble and complain, he'll be right on that shoulder. Yeah, girl, that's it. That's it. That's it. Tell them all. Yeah, girl, keep going. Yeah, you ain't good enough. You might as well not even be here anyway. Just leave. Just leave. Just leave. You sometimes have to tell your mind, no, that's not the way it is. Even though you're thinking it. That's not the way it is. I'm tripping right now. Recognize your thoughts. I'm tripping right now. This is a good book to have. Guys, I'm going to be doing information on it. It's somewhere downstairs. A talking spiritual faith thing from DBH IDS coming up in April. It's a faith-based thing. I'll give you the information on that. I was chosen along with some other people to have breakout rooms. You know, in breakout rooms, there's different activities that you have that's officiated with the cause. So this year is about suicide and how you can help, with faith-based coping and things like that. So, I have the cottage house. I put in for it. Thank you, my girlfriend Jay. Thank you. That motivated me to do it, and I got chosen to present at this conference. It's April 24th, I believe. I'll put that information out there. I guess you can Google DBH IDS and look for the flyer. I'm going to post it when I can, and I think you have to register for it. So that's going to be one thing I'm going to be doing. Before we go, I did make my flyers. They're really big. This is going to be headed up. I think I'm going to do this maybe fall 2025 because I have this conference coming up. I got to focus on getting my program ready for that. So I'm going to really focus on that, and I'm focusing on doing my syllabus for all my life skill classes anyway. So I already have the communications one halfway through. I'm going to start with communications because, again, if you're not talking properly, if you don't know how to actively communicate, it's really difficult for you to put things into Um, So communication fundamentals, define where did it originate from, and processes. So that's module one. But the 9 steps that I'm talking about for life skills is personal development, independent living skills, money management, vocational training, building community involvement, leisure activities, um, spiritual, emotional, physical, mental, and social. When things happen, when you're in a crisis, those things tend to fall. And sometimes you don't need um, consistent therapy modules. You just need those life skills put back into place. So that's why some people go to therapy and they be like, man, this is not for me. It's just too much. I just need a simple 6 to 4 week program. And I'm going to focus on bam, bam, bam. Because this is what happens when my mental health gets out of control. Some people don't want to cook. Again, they don't want to go shopping. They shut down completely. They're still going to work. They still getting that check. They still doing the grocery shopping, but they shut down completely. And so if they're not cooking, they're not eating. They may be emotional eating. And they may have some medical problems. So your physical is now intertwined and your mental. And remember, we're a system. The mind can't live without the body, and the body can't live without the mind. But you don't need to go to therapy sometimes for that. You just need that life skill corrected and put back into play. The college skills model is from surviving to living. We survive through lots of crises, but sometimes we're not living. We're just still in that survival mode. I'll be giving these flyers out. If you have a barbershop, a daycare that you attend to, and you want me to come there and do a 45-minute free lecture of what the class pertains, what you're going to get out of the class, some tips. It's free. Just inbox me, and I'll mail you this flyer so you can just put it into the barbershop or the nail salon you're at. Talk to the owner. My phone number is up there, and let them know just to call me, and I can schedule a day to come to their local business. They can have some customers there, and I can talk this thing out. This service is free. The life skill classes, I'm still trying to work on a fairly good angle to charge for those classes. I got to buy the materials. I got to make sure everybody has everything that they need, and then funding for myself. And a good thing that I'm going to be working on is our sneaker ball. The sneaker ball. I need more funds. I really want to do drop the mic or pass the mic family edition. Again, in the fall, I really want to do that. Pass the mic to family edition, children and parents together, and we can just go at it. Because a lot of people are not listening. Especially to the youth. So I want to do that. That's going to be something again in the fall. But I need funds. I need funds for space. I need funds because people like to eat. I like to feed people. Jesus did the same thing. He brought people together with food and love. And that's what I like to do. So I need funds for that. But I'll keep you guys posted. So that's it, guys. Negative thoughts, challenge them. Negative thoughts, identify them. Make sure you know what the patterns of learning are. What's that revolving door, revolving circle? Okay. I'm gonna post some strategies in the comment section. I'll also post I think I can post the I statements in there if I can get it. The I statements. If I can get a picture, I'll post it in there. But you can get this book. It is $20. I think it's 22, 23 bucks if you want it to be mailed to your house. You can just go on my website, www.twogwenmoms.com, and get this book. It's a really good book, and like I said, I'm be teaching from it a little bit more. And Miss Carla, I got that I got that idea in my mind. So what I want to do is for next week, try to do that mass activity, so people can see what I'm talking about and what you're talking about. Is because it's a good one. It's a good one. How we see ourselves in society and what we're really hiding in society when we're going out in society. Croc Center, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know I'm available. So if anybody wants any speaking engagements at their church, at their community center, again, you have me for free. I'm willing to do those things for free. My life skill classes will cost, because that's going to be time and money and space and things. I actually need Zoom to be more than a half an hour Zoom call. I'm going to need it for an hour and 30 minutes. So I think a yearly subscription is a little. It's not pricey, but I need to make sure all the things are technical are like moving fast and moving straight. So I'll keep you guys posted. All right, guys. It's been lovely. It's been great. It's been wonderful. My name is Kimble Evans. I'm your trap therapist. You guys be safe and have a good night.